Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. And they're off into the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa. So
we're always horsing around, but we're going to do a little racing special and talk derby to you. Louisa Barton here in the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital of the world with Dancin Pete Rodda from Complementary Horsemanship. We are dressed derby style today so that we can share with you some of the incredible things that Jenna Rovira and I experienced over the weekend while we were covering the Kentucky Derby for the Horse Talk Show and for Equus Television Network. And we need to say wow to all the connections that there were in the Kentucky Derby this year. Incredible to have 15 out of 20 horses who started their training right here in the Ocala, Marion County area. Really exceptional. That's a lot of horses.
And how many were from Japan? So there's definitely not an Ocala connection there.
No, two. There were, and actually, well, they all ran a great race, but one of them ran very, very well, Forever Young, and was not far off the being right there in the race. It was amazing. It was an incredible time. It was incredible to see so many connections and so much success. We need to say, of course, congratulations to the winner of the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby. Both started their training with Dominic Brennan at the Silverleaf Training Center in Summerfield for Kenny McPeek. Kenny McPeek could not say enough about his relationship, long time with Dominic Brennan, how much that important training really is to the outcome of these races, that they put such a great foundation on right here.
So the Oaks are the mares, and then the Derby is the boys.
Correct.
But girls can participate in the Derby.
Girls can. It's very rare since the point system came into play. And the reason is because it is the top 20 horses with the most points. And the races that you get those points in are usually boys. And when you put a girl at that age in those races against the boys, it is a lot more taxing on her.
Okay.
So unless you really have a horse that you really believe can make it to the Derby, you're not going to put her in those races where you can get the points. The Oaks are definitely the top fillies, the top 14 fillies, and they are amazing horses, and we do sometimes see a girl in the Derby, but it's very rare since the point system came
And then the
into play.
trainer that won the Derby won the Oaks with a different horse, correct?
Correct, yes.
Wow.
Kenny McPeek. And very, very interestingly enough, it was 1957, I believe, the last time, 1952 was the last time that the same trainer and the same jockey with their horses won both the Oaks and the Derby, and it was 2007 the last time the same jockey won the Oaks and the Derby, and that was Calvin Burrell. And so it is not something that happens all the time. So in Kenny McPeek's stable, it was fantastic to have that happen Friday and Saturday. And I text Dominic Brennan here in Ocala on Friday and said, well done on winning the Oaks. And he said, yes, we're going for the double. We're going to win the Derby too. So I should have put a lot of money on that horse.
See, you had inside trader
I know. I should just listen. We actually have here, and if you're on the radio, you can't see it, but we have here what they call a virgin mint julep made by Jenna Rovira. Non-alcoholic in a 150 Derby cup here, and delicious. And right before the show, we had a hot brown made by Jenna Rovira. Incredible. That's Isaac, as we're prepping for the show, eating his hot brown. Wow. Delicious. If you don't know what that is, Google it and make it. It's scrumptious. And Pete's not a fan of the mint julep, but we're sipping them here with mint. Thank you, Jenna. Some mentions. Equi First Aid is coming right up.
12th of May.
Yep.
Midnight Rose Equestrian Center, Citra, Florida, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Because
you're there. First responder.
$99. This will really increase your horsemanship to know what to do, look for vital signs.
Yep. Are you ready for an emergency?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't forget the Larson Hay giveaway is going on. Very exciting. Mother's Day giveaway. Make a purchase at either one of the 2 locations in Ocala. Sign up for the free drawing. There's going to be 5 winners, each receiving $100 of free hay.
I got to find out if I'm eligible.
I think you are.
Oh.
You don't work for Larson Hay. Drawing ends on May 11th. Winners will be announced on May 13th on the Larson Hay Facebook. So make sure you get in for that. Absolutely. And what else do we have that we need to mention?
May the distance be with you.
That's right. Ocala Dog Ranch. May the distance be with you, May 11th and 12th. And there's something very exciting coming up at Ocala Dog Ranch very soon that I'm going to tell you about. Not quite yet, but soon. And it's going to be in August. And it's really exciting. So
Mark Hamill's going to be there.
So International Dog Sports, Up Dog, Ocala Dog Ranch, may the distance be with you. This is going to be great fun. Don't miss this weekend. It's better if you sign up, but you don't have to sign up. You can go and watch, and you can actually just see if you think this is something that your dog might enjoy. But it's really awesome fun. And just watching these dogs dock dive is so phenomenal and so much fun. It's worth going out there and being a spectator. Take your dog to watch and just check it out. Even if you don't want to compete, it's worth going to watch this fabulous event. This weekend is Mother's Day, folks. Don't forget Mum. Do not forget Mum. If you're listening on Saturday morning on the Sky 97.3, it's not too late to get flowers, sweets, gifts, Mother's Day. Very important. We want to say Happy Mother's Day from everybody here at the Horse Talk Show, and we'll remind you again at the end of the show. We have got some great interviews from Equus Television Network that we did over the weekend, and of course we're going to have Dr. Adam Cayot coming up, but then we have a chat with Brian Hernandez, the jockey who rode both the winning Oaks horse and the winning Derby horse. We have Kenny McPeek, who trained both of those horses, the Oaks and the Derby winner. We have a couple of minutes with Todd Pletcher, the trainer of Fierceness, and we have a funny story related to Todd Pletcher. Who can't believe that we got 2 minutes with Todd Pletcher, but it was even funnier, so we'll share that story with you later. And we have a segment with Jenna Rovira, who actually works at Stone Street Farm, who were kind enough to let her go with me. As Betsy was unable to travel, she had a surgical procedure, needed to rest. Jenna jumped in and was willing to go along and help me. She did a phenomenal job as a videographer.
And I heard she got you into places you haven't ever gone.
She did indeed. I have never been, 10 feet maybe or so from the starting gate, and that's what you actually saw at the beginning of the show. If you were watching, you got to see the starting gate, and I can tell you that now watching it, I'm so glad I videoed it, because I actually don't remember it happening, because I was so shell-shocked about being that close. It's just,
I was trying to describe that to my friends on what you got to do, and I said that would be like being in the arena during the National Finals Rodeo to watch it.
Yes. It was, when the horses started loading, you could actually see down the bottom, you could see their feet going in. And it was amazing. I mean, it was just Like
It's
you were
like
in the starting
standing
gate.
behind the coaches at the NFL.
Yes, it
There
was
you go. For
really
Super Bowl.
exciting. Yes. We're going to come right back with Dr. Adam Cayot. Please do stay with us for the rest of the show. We've got a lot of Derby fun for you. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Equestrian. It's not just a word but a title. It comes paired with hard work, discipline, and talent. LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Introducing the Hoofling system, powered by LipChip, where a microchip becomes a secure key to unlock temperature, register for your next event, and keep track of required documents. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. Broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and we are going to talk about something that both in the horse world, the dog world, and the people world we're facing a lot. And actually a friend of mine years back told me that 1 in 2 people would have some form of cancer by 2010, and I think she was right. And we're definitely seeing a lot of that in horses as well. I have actually dealt with melanoma with a grey horse before. That was quite daunting. But talk to us about some of the cancers that you come across.
Well, the most common that you see, and part of the reason we see more is because horses are living longer, right? So they have more chance to develop these things. So the common things we see are melanoma in gray horse, where they get the lumps on their, typically around their tail head and around their anus and that sort of thing, and it can spread to other parts of their body. Around their face is where you typically see it first, and then squamous cell carcinoma, and then basal cell carcinoma can be other, the other typical ones that you see. Certainly squamous cell is typically seen on pink skin. Horses' paints are notorious for getting that around their eyes and around, those sorts of areas. I've had squamous cell in the back of a horse's throat before.
Really?
Yeah. So they can develop that anywhere, but typically it does appear on the, the pink skinned areas. And then basal cell can happen anywhere as well, around the eyes, around the face, those sorts of things that you can see. Depending on, how severe it is, you can have them removed typically, and they're surgically excised. And depending on where it is, obviously the one in the back of the throat, that's kind of hard to handle. And number one, because you don't see anything back there. So by the time this horse, we figured out what was going on, it was kind of past the point of no return because you didn't see it and the horse didn't act abnormal or anything. So, certainly squamous cell and those sorts of things. If you have a horse in Florida that has pink skin around the eyes, pink around their sheath area, around the vulva or under their tail, pay attention to wounds that are there that just pop up and they seem to weep and they look abnormal. Have a veterinarian look at it. If you get it early and you can excise it, they typically do fine, and you don't have to do any chemotherapeutic stuff. If they get bigger, there are some things that we can give that are injectable, and you inject right into the lesion that can help with that. So, just be diligent, know your horse, know what your horse looks like, and if there's any abnormalities, especially on a pink-skinned area, just try to have those addressed as soon as you possibly can. As far as melanomas go, if you have a gray horse, it's going to get melanoma.
Right.
If you have him long enough and he gets old enough, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. Typically, I don't do anything with them. I don't, there are you can hear things that people remove the small ones. I tend to just let them be, because sometimes if you remove them, they become more aggressive, and I call them angry, get them angry, And so certainly it's a progressive problem, and like I said, typically you'll see it around their tail head, around the, their perineum area, around their anal area.
And does that metastasize like it does with people?
Well, yeah, it'll go different places. Yeah, certainly it can go internally. Certainly they can get melanomas internally that can strangulate bowel. It shows up around their head, around their mouth. You can
more sensitive areas.
Yeah, more sensitive to areas. Certainly they can get it anywhere on their skin. And it's not kind of the same thing as melanoma on people, because, that's certainly linked to sun exposure. There's some component with the gray horse, and why, and typically gray horses have black skin. So, unless it's white horse and then it has pink skin. So, and it comes up in an area first that gets the least sun exposure.
That's true, actually. So
it's not really kind of the same that humans get as far as melanomas, because there's some genetic component there with the gray and why they develop it. But those are the most common things. And
do you come across internal tumors much on horses, as far as other kinds of cancer like we'd see in dogs and people?
Oh yeah, certainly. Typically it's not found unless the horse is colicking, right? So we don't typically, look inside horses' bellies unless there's an issue, and that's when you'll find it. You'll find lipomas, which aren't cancer, but they're a fatty tumor,
right?
That can strangulate bowel and things like that, and then the melanomas can progress internally as well. They can start strangulating things and cause bad colics and things like that, and then you can see them. So that's what I would say about that is, we don't find them unless there's some reason to go looking, kind of deal,
Yeah.
So it's not like you can typically feel them on a rectal exam or anything like that. Obviously you can if you have a mare that has a tumor on her ovary or things like that is acting bizarre, which made me think of that. Typically if they have an ovarian tumor or ovarian problem, then those mares tend to have a certain behavior. They tend to act more aggressive. They tend to more study and that sort of thing. And then you can actually feel it. And typically those ovaries are much larger than normal. And you put an ultrasound on that, and you can see the difference. So those are generally rectified by removal of that ovary, and they do just fine after that.
Very good.
But yeah.
So you got to watch out for those greys.
Yeah,
Keep an eye.
Yep. Yep. Love the
Dr.
grays.
Adam Cayot with Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Fine.
Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care always does a phenomenal job explaining these topics to us. And I have to say that having experienced cancer in a horse that belonged to my mother several years back, it was quite a challenge, especially since the particular melanoma actually grew over the part at the back under the tail, which was not a good thing, especially as it grew and started to actually cover the hole, which would have become a very big problem had she not had to be put down. She was very, very old, fortunately, but it was still very sad. So it is something to be mindful of, especially as Dr. Cayot mentioned, under the tail area. That is an area that could, of course, cover that, stop the horse from being able to go to the bathroom at some point. So it is just something to be very mindful of, and it can be quite serious, and so be watching your horses for any of the things that he mentioned. Do you ever had a horse that experienced that?
No, ma'am.
It's a good thing. So very informative, Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. In our next segment, we are going to be talking about Jenna's very, very first trip to Kentucky and her very first Oaks and Derby. And we've got lots to share with you. I know you've probably seen some of this on social media if you followed us over the weekend, but it was quite an incredible experience. And I think that it's definitely worth hearing from her perspective what it was like to visit Kentucky the very first time and go to the Derby for this. And I think it was a tremendous time. I think.
And my part in this is to keep it to where, what does that mean? Please explain this, because not everybody listening understands what those terms mean.
This is true.
Especially if they're not into thoroughbred racing, or the only time they watch Kentucky Derby is once a year, and they never watch horse racing really unless somebody's going for Triple Crown.
You absolutely hit the nail right on top of the head there, and that is that the Kentucky Derby is the one race that I think the whole world watches. It's the world stage, so much more than any of the others, even though we love the Breeders' Cup and the Belmont and all of those. The Kentucky Derby has a sort of a pull for non-horse people, and you even see that in the spectators who are there. So it's definitely worth hearing about this, and Pete's going to ask questions, so stay with us. We're going to be back with Jenna Rovira in just a minute. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Pyranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, Piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancin Pete Rodda. Special guest, we have Jenna Rovira here with us. Jenna, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
She's got a big hat.
Yeah, she does. She blessed us with hot browns, very Kentucky, virgin mint juleps, and Derby pie. As we would say in England, Derby pie, because we call it the Kentucky Derby there.
Of course you do.
Of course we do. It's just a thing. So, Jenna, first experience at the Kentucky Derby, first experience in Kentucky. Amazing time. That's Dalton Baird, by the way. Wonderful guy. Fantastic chap. Got us to the starting gate, which was really quite an experience.
It was absolutely incredible. I kept telling everybody, I feel like a kid at Disney World for the first time. Like,
nice hat.
Simplicity. Yes, for Complementary Horsemanship.
Yeah,
went
walk
to
the
Kentucky
line
with us.
Walk the finish line. No, run past it.
Oh, I don't think I included the photo where you discovered Pete's jacket in the airport with my luggage.
I did. I don't have one.
Yeah.
So that's at the Twin Spires at Churchill Downs, and that is us watching training in the morning, which is really incredible, isn't it? That's catalytic.
Yeah. I tried to include some of those pictures. Catalytic, he didn't end up finishing in the top tier of the Derby, but just watching them in training and the presence about that horse in the way that the rider connected with him. He was calm, relaxed, he rubbed on him, took off in a nice, easy way. I really liked that. And then some of the ones when we were back at the barn with the riders and the grooms, there you have another one that was Fierceness, I think, right?
Yes, just loving on that horse and scratching on him, and then he realized we were filming him, and he was just wonderful. I mean, nebulizing this horse and Magna Wave for another horse. I mean, they were really taking care of them.
Poor Tiny. She's like, I wasn't smiling.
I know, I wasn't ready.
One. But yeah, that's the thing you don't get to hear a lot about is all the special treatment and therapies that are given to them. Yes. That was your fun conversation with
That
Just
was
Steel.
my little chat with Just Steel. I wasn't allowed to touch him or give him a treat or cuddle him or anything because it was the day of the race, but
Pete could be a security guard.
Oh, yeah, he'd be a really good one, wouldn't he?
He
wouldn't let anybody.
Happy in the racing world.
Now that's nobody, of course. That's Gary Stevens.
All right, that was my faux pas of the week. I cannot believe it, and I should have stuck my foot in my mouth. But I asked him.
She did.
If he used to ride races. This is Hall of Fame jockey.
Yes. He's like, well, I rode Silver Charm
and all the signs are behind him. He's like, yeah, Thunder Gulch and Silver Charm. I'm like, yeah.
Gary Stevens.
I totally knew that.
I didn't recognize him either, and I've met him 3 times, so I didn't do well either.
But incredible. I mean, to be able to be up there with
and that was at D.
caliber.
Wayne Lucas's barn, only D. Wayne, only.
Oh, and I have to tell you, so one of the guys that I work with that's a groom at Stone Street used to work for D. Wayne Lucas, and his daughter also works at the farm, and she says, my dad was in tears practically following your guys' post because he recognized some of the guys in D. Wayne Lucas's barn, and he was saying who they were, and they used to call him Tio. And then he brought in a box one time of like 8 photo albums of win pictures, and like when you hear him talk about it, like the reverence and just the heart that he has for the passion and the horses, it's there.
It's amazing. And Hall of Fame trainer D. Wayne Lucas is 88 years of age, still rides the pony out every day with his horses. He's an amazing guy. And actually I sat on his pony.
Yeah, you have funny backside stories.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact.
I heard that Louisa has made a new definition for backside.
Yeah, so the backside of the racetrack is where the staff live, where the barns are, where all the work goes on.
And now,
where all the fun happens.
Now it is also where Louisa got on the pony in a dress.
And didn't realize how short the dress was, and
it's a whole new meaning to the backside. What can I say?
More backside than what you
yes,
got.
I'm afraid that there might have possibly been some
cheers.
Some backside.
And they kept letting you come back to visit the pony. Imagine that.
I know. It was like, Rally, you are my new friend. And then there was another backside story, which when I received this West Saratoga pin from the trainer of West Saratoga and he took it off his suit, he also lent me a pair of scissors. Because the very kind and sweet and considerate Jenna Rovira was carrying the Horse Talk Show book bag full of equipment for me, and it rubbed a patch on the back of her dress, and it was fraying. And so I borrowed West Saratoga's scissors to trim her backside. So here we go again with the backside of Churchill Downs.
Well, you guys are going to have to spend more time on the front side of this race now.
Apparently.
Yeah, and then I would say, from my perspective, being in the paddock for the Oaks, just up close and personal with the trainers. The Ortiz brothers were right there. One of the girls this morning at work was like, "Oh my God, you could have reached out and touched them."
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like royalty. So
they are.
But it's just such a energy. Like
you guys
watching them saddle up.
You guys talking
horses.
is like me being around with some rodeo friends and mentioning names, and everybody else look around and go, "Who's Ty Murray?"
So the Ortiz brothers are two brothers that are like the top leading riders in the country.
Okay.
And they're very competitive.
They are.
So it's very exciting to watch them riding races because they might be brothers and family and they might get along great, but on the track it is on. It's
on
competition.
Yes.
And then the paddock is where they take the horses before the races to walk them and begin tacking them. They leg the jockeys up there, and then they go through the tunnel, so it's right there for the tunnel. And then I actually went onto the track for the Oaks, and all muddy in my in our rubber wellies that we went out to Tractor Supply to buy. Yes.
Yes, those are rubber wellies. Actually, those are from Tamrock. Yes,
fun.
more backside fun.
Backside fun, and the guy keeping the track rider is probably going, "Get these crazy ladies out of here."
He was laughing at us as he passed by in his John Deere tractor. We were having a good time. Tamra actually got me those rubber welly boots, but we did go and get some, didn't we, from Tractor Supply? So we had other boots for the other day because we knew it was going to be muddy and wet.
Well, I even heard you guys were telling me that they sell flip-flops at Kentucky
Mm-hmm.
Derby.
They do. People take off their high heel
cheap
shoes.
little ones, and then like fancy Derby, especially because this year was the 150th Derby, so there was all kinds of special paraphernalia for that.
And
So
then
we
did you
did
guys get by the winner's circle also, is what I heard?
We did. We did. We enjoyed being extremely close, like could almost reach out and touch Mystic Dan, which was amazing. And then we went back to the barn and got to be there while they bathed him and put his winning blanket on and just be right there. And then we even got to go in the stall with him. And
wait a minute, he's got a wrestling WWF belt on.
Yes, this is when Darren and another gentleman came over, and they actually, Darren from our media area came over, and they actually gave him this belt, didn't they? And it was
And
really
they said they
neat.
had one for the horse too, like a bridle, or I thought they said it was a bridle, but that would have been cool to see as well.
Yeah, but Kenny McPeek was pretty excited about the whole thing. I mean, it was a pretty amazing weekend for him.
I was very touched and impressed by him in how he threw back. He gave out name drops and personal shout outs to his staff, to his team,
to his
the
wife.
groom, the exercise rider, his wife. It was just really
Just like
nice.
we do on the show. Go Isaac, right?
That's right.
Yes.
It was really nice to be around them, and everybody in the McPeek barn, everybody was so kind and so wonderful. The trainer, the groom, the exercise rider, the jockey, everybody was so kind, weren't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that sound means we have to take a break. And
We're
guess
coming
what?
back with more Derby.
More Derby.
Stay with us. Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Hey there, horsemen. Are you tired of technology that doesn't fit your way of life? Lip Chip is ready to revolutionize your barn. Built by horsemen, for horsemen. Lip Chip knows how you ride. If you're tired of carrying around paperwork, dealing with long trailer lines, and juggling all your horse's details while trying to compete, then the answer is the HoofLink system. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Each scan reveals everything you need to work, compete, and to protect your horses. View current health paperwork, pre-register for your next event, and even check in on your horse's health. Horsemen, let's keep our horses safe and make our lives at the barn a little easier. The future is here, and the future is Lip Chip. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. or find them on social media.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here with my traveling companion for the Kentucky Derby, Jenna Rovira, and my co-host, Dancin Pete Rodda from Complementary Horsemanship. And we are going to take you to an interview we did this weekend with Brian Hernandez, the jockey who won both the Oaks and the Derby this weekend. That's pretty tremendous. Here he is. Louisa Barton here for the Equus Television Network and the Horse Talk Show at Churchill Downs this morning, and a very exciting morning after a very exciting Oaks and Derby. Especially exciting for this barn behind us, Kenny McPeek stable, and I'm here with the jockey, Brian Hernandez. Brian, thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling today? Is it it must be incredible to be victorious twice in a weekend. How amazing.
It's a surreal moment to come out and win the Oaks on Friday, which was extremely special, and then to double it up yesterday and win the Kentucky Derby today. I mean, yesterday it's like it still hasn't sunken in yet. It's still not it's so surreal that it's impossible to put into words more than anything.
It's amazing. I don't think it's been done since Calvin Burrell.
Calvin Burrell did it back in 2009, and then before that, before the last time a jockey and trainer duo did it, and a trainer did it was back in 1953, I believe it was, 72 years ago. Yeah,
isn't it? Wow.
Ben Jones was the last one to do it, so it's an incredible feat for Kenny, and it's unbelievable.
Tell us a little bit of your background.
Grew up around horses whole life from when I was a young kid to now. You know, grew up on a little farm down there in Louisiana. My dad was a jockey. He rode for 30-something years, and I was fortunate enough when I first started riding, I rode with him, and just horses have been in our blood our whole lives.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell us about riding in the Oaks, winning the Oaks, how that felt, and then kind of compare that to the next day and the difference. Obviously, the Oaks was sloppy and wet, and it was a rough day yesterday. Fortunately, we had a nicer day. The track was still heavy, but we didn't get a wet day, so that was good.
Going into the Oaks, you know, we were really confident in our filly and Torpedo Anna, and then when she showed up and ran such a monstrous race that she won authoritatively by 4, and we were just so excited. And then yesterday, we went into the Derby yesterday. We didn't have much pressure on us. You know, we thought our horse had a big chance, and we liked him. We knew we figured he would show up. And then, like Kenny and I talked about it after the race, there was just no pressure yesterday. It was kind of just this calm, easygoing thing where we kind of, I think in the back of our mind, we all kind of thought, hey, for some reason, it looks like we're going to win the Derby today. So then, when we went out there, and our horse, he's another testament to it, because he's such a cool customer. He went out there with no issues. He, like a pony early in the post-breed, he had his head just kind of cruising around, taking it all in. And when he left the gate and put himself in such a good spot, and he was responsive for me the whole way, it was just an unbelievable feeling to cross the wire. You know, we crossed the wire in front, but at the same time, we weren't sure if we actually won. So we went from the fastest 2 minutes in sports to the longest 2 minutes in sports waiting for our number to be hung up.
I know, right? It was so close. It was like a whisker,
yes,
right?
It was so close. And one of my friends, Greg Blasi, he's the outrider here at Churchill Downs, and I kept asking him, I'm like, Greg, did we win? Did we win? Did we win? And he had the earpiece in his ear, and he was like, the stewards are saying you won, but they haven't made it official yet. And waiting for it to become official, it was like, just come on, just make it official already, please. We want to be the Derby winner. So when they finally hung it up as the official Kentucky Derby winner, I was like, oh wow, this is unbelievable.
So amazing, isn't it? What a feeling. Oh my gosh. I'm sure you can't compare it, because for us as spectators watching it, so exciting. It has to be times 100 or 1,000 for you being in that position. Wow, it just has to be both of them. 2 days, biggest weekend in horse racing.
It's the biggest weekend in horse racing, and to be able to accomplish this on such a big stage, it's going to take a while for it to sink in.
That's amazing, amazing.
Thank
so what did you do to celebrate last night? Go home and sleep?
No, I wish. We'll sleep in a few days. I think we've slept, my wife and I and parents, I think we've slept about 4 hours the last 3 days.
I'm sure.
Last night we did the Derby party down at the Derby Museum, and we got out of the track at about 9:30, and then we went to Jeff Ruby's downtown until, I think we got out of there like 12:30, and by the time we were done with that, we were all amped up. So my wife and I, we went home, and we watched a little bit of the NBC coverage, and finally fell asleep at about 3 and got up at 5 this morning.
To be back here.
Yeah.
Well, we are so happy for you. What a
thank
wonderful weekend. Just incredible, wonderful experience. Well done.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing weekend. Brian Hernandez here at Churchill Downs with 2 victorious winners here right behind us, winning the Oaks and the Derby this weekend. Wow. And the 150th, no less. Got a shout out here for Dominic Brennan in Ocala, where the horse got its start, of course, at the Summerfield Training Centre. We love our Ocala connections, since that's where we're from. So shout out to all the connections here for 2 incredible horses, an amazing weekend in horse racing. Louisa Barton for the Equus Television Network and the Horse Talk Show. And now the trainer, who gives a wonderful shout out for the starting trainer. And as Pete and Jenna can both speak to the foundation training of a horse being so very, very important. Dominic Brennan, hats off to you, giving this horse an absolutely wonderful start. And Kenny gives Dominic a great shout out for his starting training here in Ocala, Marion County. Now we get to hear from the winning trainer, Oaks and Derby, Kenny McPeek. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network here at Churchill Downs with the victor of the weekend, Kenny McPeek, and his dog, Sunny, who we've met this morning. Kenny, this is an absolutely incredible, historic weekend for you. How are you feeling this morning, other than, I'm sure, tired? But what an amazing weekend.
A bit surreal. Just amazing job by the whole team. And it's when things come together like they did this weekend, it's just an amazing feeling. We kind of expected it. Certainly, coming into it, you've got to be positive in every race. But in this case, I really felt 2-3 weeks out that we could win both races for sure. And when everything falls in place, it's magical.
It's amazing. So when you won the Oaks, I texted Dominic and said, wow, this is amazing, in Ocala, of course, at your Summerfield Training Center there, Dominic Brennan, and he goes, yeah, we're going for the double.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't believe it yesterday. I texted him and said, well, there it is. So talk to us a little bit about, I know most of your horses get a lot of their foundational training. Tell us a little bit about how important that is, because these horses are obviously very well started. They obviously have a great foundation on them. You can tell from the way they handle everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dominic himself's a key part of the team. I mean, we brought together, he and I worked together since probably 1992 or 3. He's a great friend, colleague. When the list of horses that he's developed are amazing. And
I would agree. I follow them every year, so.
Yeah, I mean, he goes back to Skip Away and Tahana Run, my first Derby runner. But you've got to have a team that does that brings them along a little bit at a time, and he does that well for us.
Wonderful. So very different races, wet and sloppy on Friday, and then thankfully a lot drier, although still a little heavy yesterday. What were you thinking at the end of the race yesterday in the Derby when they were all so close? After those minutes, Brian, the jockey, shared with us, and those minutes at the end, it was just, wow. We're sure we've won, but...
Yeah. I had a monitor next to me, so I saw the slow motion finish well before anybody else did. They had posted it on a monitor there, and I just literally looked over my shoulder, and you could see that he had won. So it was
quick fix for you.
Yeah, I knew what was happening. Yeah, it was good. I felt like even looking at it live that we did win the race. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to keep you. I know you've got a lot going on, but we want to say congratulations to all your connections, owners, starting trainers, and everybody here. You've got a great team. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses! Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, Piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Now we have a funny couple of minutes at the Churchill Downs backside for the Kentucky Derby, before the Kentucky Derby with Todd Pletcher. Can you believe it? Louisa Barton here for the Equus Television Network and the Horse Talk Show. We are at Churchill Barns on the backside here with Todd Pletcher. Very well-known name in racing, a very exciting day. We're grateful that he's taking 30 seconds to chat to us. You have a 30-second countdown, Todd. Tell us how you're doing today.
Doing well, just anxious for the moment.
I know, right? We are too. We love Fierceness. I'm very familiar with Ocala Stud, where he got an amazing start. Chatted a bit to David O'Farrell before we came here, and he couldn't say enough about this horse. Maybe you could just run off that and tell us how he's settled here and how he's doing. And
yeah, he's done great since arriving at Churchill. I had a really good breeze over the track. He's very laid-back colt, very well-mannered and very quiet at times. Sometimes so quiet that you worry about him, but that can be a good thing.
That's right. I saw you over there chatting to him a minute ago, having that moment of just enjoying him, right? Just seeing how he is and just hoping we'll all go away and leave him alone.
Yeah, I think, you just hope, keep him calm, quiet, and prepared for, all the excitement that he's getting ready to see on the other side.
He is indeed. And how's he handling all of that?
He's handling really well in his paddock schooling and everything. Like I said, he's generally a very mild-mannered horse, but none of them have seen anything quite like they're getting ready to see.
What do you think about the field? Sierra Leone looks pretty tough.
He does, yeah. Some very good colts in here, and it seems like a pretty blended race of speed and closers and horses that kind of lay in the middle of the pack. So the track seems to be playing fair. I think it should give everyone their best chance.
Well, we're glad that so far so good on the weather.
So far, yeah. It looks like we might dodge the rain they were predicting could happen.
That's right. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Lisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here with Todd Pletcher. I got this button from this amazing guy, Larry Demerit, and we had a chance to chat to his assistant trainer, who is also the exercise rider of West Saratoga. I love these people so much. Enjoy. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the Equus Television Network, and we have a very special interview here with Donte Lowery, brought to you by Dapple Up Shampoo. You see the dapples on this horse here that's running in the Derby? We got to give Dapple Up a bit of credit for that. By the way, you don't have to be a grey to get dappled up really well with Dapple Up. You can be any colour. Just want you to know that. Shout out to Catherine Wheeler, dear friend of mine, who arranged for us to pop over here and get this interview on Derby Day here at the backside of Churchill Downs. Donte, thank you so much for being with us. You are the assistant trainer and the exercise rider, so you have a really big role here to Larry Demerit, of course, who is the trainer of this horse. So tell us a little bit, first of all, about this horse, personality, any little quirks, anything that we should know. Our viewers love that.
I can't complain. He's straightforward. He's an awesome horse. I couldn't ask for a better horse. especially, I mean, I'm not just saying that because we made it to the Derby, but like honestly, I couldn't ask for a better one. You know, the ride is smooth. He does everything he asks me to do. So, you know, that's West Saratoga.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I take it you've never trained a Derby contender like this before, right?
This is my first time in the Derby, you know, so.
That's amazing.
I mean, a lot of us probably first time in the Derby. I mean, I've been here multiple times, you know, for the Derby, but not in the Derby.
In it, right, yeah.
Whole different, you know, feeling and atmosphere, you know.
That's great. So Larry Demerit's been training for 47 years, and he hasn't been here either. He's faced a lot of health challenges, and he's come back from. That's amazing.
It's truly amazing. I say he's a soldier.
He's a soldier.
He's a soldier for all the ups and downs he goes through. And I mean, he's here every day, every morning, early in the morning. So I mean, most people, so, you know, with the cancer and everything that he does, you know what I mean. They're not around as much as you can say for Larry would be here. You know? Yeah. And I mean, it's sad to say, but you know. He's a soldier.
And you've worked with him for 9 years, so you know how wonderful he is with this, and how he's pulled through all of this, and fights on for the horses, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about, you said he's straightforward, easy to handle. When you're riding him now through training, it must be so exciting that you've made it to the top 20 horses in the country. Incredible. When you're riding him out there, how's it feel? It has to be a lot of emotion, right?
I don't know how to explain it. It's a wonderful feeling, you know? Come out here every day for myself to put tap on and take him out to the racetrack, you know, sitting on a Kentucky Derby horse, you know, it's an amazing feeling. You know, if I could have 20 horses or 10 horses just like this one, of course it would. You know?
I know, right? Exactly. So I see you walking around with the little one.
Oh yeah, that's my son, Damien Lowery.
And he kind of knows what Dad does for a living.
Oh yeah, I FaceTime him, video time him all the time, especially when we was on to Tampa a lot, you know. I always got him on FaceTime and talking and things.
He knows Dad's around the horses.
All the time.
Yeah. So looking now towards later on today, you're going to do the walkover.
Yeah.
You can do the thing, emotional.
Oh man, I told somebody earlier, I said I might have to drop down and do a dirt angel and see if we win, you know?
Yeah, right. Me too. It's so exciting.
So,
wonderful. Is there anything else you want to share with us that's been really special for you? Obviously, having this relationship with amazing horses.
It's a team effort. Everybody that comes out supporting us and all the hard work. Everybody puts in, you know, hard work. So that's what guys here today. Hard work. So keep everybody putting in their work. Like I said, it's like a puzzle to me. I call it like we're one big puzzle. Everybody has to come together. So the correct piece, you know, so you just have that one mishap, you know, that can be the one little downfall or so, you know, so everybody has to come together and be one. So, you know, it's not always going to be a smooth ride, but, you know, it's little bumps here and there, but other than that, it's very, very good and successful year.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you washing your hair in dapple up? Because it sure looks good.
I'm gonna start, you know.
High five, man. Yes. Exercise rider, assistant trainer here with this incredible West Saratoga, beautiful horse. There's a mark, right? Tell us about the little mark.
Well, he was born with that little mark there. The only thing that's changed about it is it just got bigger.
Got bigger, yeah. Little Arabian kiss there on the shoulder, right?
And I always tell the story when I was at the training center. Actually, one of the outriders, I said, good thing that I was finished my gallop because he run up on me and he was like, hey, pull up. So, you know, me riding, I'm looking down, making my bandage still going good, I'm still attacking, break or anything. And I'm like, what's going on? He said, your horse is bleeding, he's bleeding. But then by the time he comes up on, he's like, oh, that's just Marcus, I'm sorry. Like, and I said, man, it's a good thing that I was finishing my gallop because Larry was getting hot. I pulled him up, and you know, and then going in like,
we'll just call it dog kiss.
Yeah.
That works, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's beautiful. West Saratoga, running in the Derby today. We're very excited for you guys. We certainly love to see you in the winner's circle. So well done for all your dedication and hard work.
Thank you very much.
Louisa Button for the Horse Talk Show and the Equine Television Network at Churchill Downs on the backside in the barn of West Saratoga, running in the Kentucky Derby today. Those amazing folks. We're going to see more of West Saratoga for sure, and that wonderful group of people who we really enjoyed meeting. That was so fantastic. Coming back on the 6th segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week. Stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here, dressed race style with Dancin Pete Rodda and Jenna Rovira after a fantastic trip to the Kentucky Derby. We are going to start out with Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week.
Dancin Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship.
This tip is sponsored by Wildlife Works LLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal.
Wild Works. Always having a new animal.
Wildlife Works. We have a new animal every week. We love this.
So today's tip of the week is tip interpretation. Meaning, if you go back and listen to my first tip and the tips in between, now that you've played with your horse, it might mean something totally different. So I was teaching with a student and I said something that I had said probably 5 years ago or 2 years ago, and they looked at me and they go, wait a minute, that means something different to me now. And that's what can happen. You can interpret a tip differently. So there's a famous tip from Tom Dorrance that make the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. And lots of people go, well, you just make the wrong thing really difficult and that makes the right thing easy. And I remember being at a clinic and somebody says what he meant was, if you make the right thing easy, anything else becomes difficult. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. Like, well, if you really open that
I'm going to interject there just to say that I am so blown away all the time by how incredibly well behaved the horses are going into the Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks with 100,000 screaming fans. And I just say hats off to the people who put the foundation training on, hats off to the grooms and the handlers and the trainers, because that's a lot. And those horses handle it so well. I'm so impressed by that and by the kindness that we see behind the scenes. And I'm going to say something that Jenna pointed out. The attitude of the people in the barns there is so refreshing. The people are so friendly and warm and really love on you as the media and the people that are around, and really treat you with just so much kindness. Even Kenny McPeek's wife, his beautiful wife, was so nice and kind to me when I was standing by the Derby winner's stall. they just take an interest in you. And that takes me to Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch tip of the week about not working with your animals when you're grumpy. They're not grumpy. The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil with the Ocala Dog Ranch. You want to train your dog, but you've had a rough day at the office and you really don't feel like doing it, well then don't do it. Or maybe your dog doesn't feel good. Instead of training that day, maybe just go out and play with a ball, do some bonding with your dog. If you're unhappy with your dog senses it. So don't train when you don't want to, and only train when you feel positive enough to do a good job. Neil with Ocala Dog Ranch.
The right attitude around your animals is so important, and play with them, love on them, and enjoy them, because we see that at the racetrack for sure. I think of all the disciplines I've ever been around, I've never seen people interact quite so well as they do there. It's quite a myth, really, and I'm not saying there aren't bad people in everything. I'm just saying that we see the majority, which is completely different than what people think on the backside of the racetrack. So I'm just going to say it's a whole different perspective, and we had some amazing experiences back there. We can share some. If you're watching, you'll get to see some Donte there with West Saratoga, just loving on that horse, just giving him just so much attention, and you can see him. So he's got so much endearment for his rider and the assistant trainer there. So it's just nice to see these things. And there's Jenna getting a kiss with West Saratoga as well. And obviously this is after the races. We were not kissing yet.
Touch or kiss
there is
before
the
race.
winning rose blanket from the Kentucky Derby right there, which is pretty special.
And we actually got roses and lilies from
Roses
the
and
winning
lilies.
bouquets.
We
so
did
that was
indeed.
Really cool
We
too.
did indeed. And those are the winning barn there behind the blanket. It was really fantastic to just be there. And that is the winner of the Kentucky Derby the day after, which was just as fantastic. Not everybody obviously has these opportunities. We're very fortunate to get.
And your first time getting to do all that.
I know, look at that. I mean, imagine cuddling Mystic Dan after the race.
What
I mean,
I said
it's
at work this morning, I was like, it's one thing, like, if I would have had a ticket to go sit in the stands, but, like, to go the places that we went, to meet those people, to meet the horses, to...
And how much is a ticket to go to the Kentucky Derby?
Thousands.
Yeah, like the general admission, the very, very cheapest, which is what, in the infield or something,
I guess
it's like $150, and then and then the general admission up top, which is a small area, is like $350, but then from there it jumps to $1,500 and
to
up,
go
I
like
think.
more access.
And then a box is like $150,000. Can't even imagine.
I know.
How much did they say that the economic impact is?
400 million? 405 million.
In one weekend for the Derby and Oak Parks.
I know, it's incredible.
And that was more this year anticipated because of
The
again, being the
150th.
150th.
It was an amazing experience, and I want to say to the media department that credential us there at the Kentucky Derby, thank you so much for the way that you take care of us, what you do for us, provide for us a good space and meals and a place to work out of so that we can create this kind of footage. So I cannot tell you how many people have said to me on social media, either via messenger or comment, and Jenna also, thank you for letting us live vicariously through you. And what we try to show you from our perspective is that we love horses more than we love any sport. Jenna is an exercise rider in the race world and works at Stone Street every day riding these horses. I have been around multiple trainers who put the start on these horses. We would not be celebrating this sport if we felt that there was anything that we were not in favor of. And again, I'm not saying there aren't people who do things that we would not agree with. I'm just saying the majority is not what you think. And being at the backside of Churchill Downs allows you the door to see that and to be around that and to experience that and to see the love of the grooms and the love of the exercise riders and the love of the trainers, that this is everything to them. This gentleman did not know that we were watching him at this time, and this obviously is a horse that this is the winner of the Derby, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
And just to see, Fierceness, I'm sorry, this is Fierceness.
Yes, yeah.
And just to see this going on shows you a totally different perspective of what racing is, and the people behind the scenes love on these horses, and it's a different viewpoint, and I really feel that people need to see the side that we see, because we see different, and it's really amazing.
I always say there's good and bad in everything.
Sure, there is.
Every discipline.
There is
and
indeed.
every mode. You know, I did natural horsemanship for years. I don't like calling it natural horsemanship because it has such a bad connotation to some folks. But I've seen people that claim to do natural horsemanship and are horrible to the horse on the one side or the other. You know, too much love, too many carrots, and then the horse is actually scared of everything. Or vice versa, too much whacking and smacking and not giving the horse a chance. So
we have 1 minute and 32 seconds. I want to thank Neil at Ocala Dog Ranch. He took such amazing, fantastic care of Lucy and Aslan that they did not want to come home, because they usually don't, because they have such an amazing time when they're there. There is no better place to board your animal. Wonderful sports that they have there and all the things they do. My dogs are incredibly happy. Very fast, I want to say congratulations again to all connections, to the winner of the Oaks and the winner of the Derby. Same barn, same trainer, same starting trainer, same jockey, same exercise rider, just wow, wow, wow. And then don't forget your mum, because this is Mother's Day weekend coming up, and we want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there from the Horse Talk Show, and hats off to all those wonderful winners over the weekend. We had an amazing experience, and we're so happy that we could share it with all of you. So whether you're in Ocala, Marion County or not, the horse capital of the world, happy horsing around. Till the same time next week.
See ya.